Welcome back to my channel. I am delighted to be back doing interviews and talking to wonderful light workers, facilitators, healers, psychics who are going to expand our consciousness and help us through the awakening process, share with us their methods, their modalities, and I am really delighted that my first guest is Helen Rowe, who is a quantum consciousness healer and hypnotherapist, because I know Helen outside of the spiritual world in real life. And to have this beautiful soul come and not only talk about this fascinating topic that is quantum healing and hypnotherapy, but also my first interview back after a bit of a break is just delightful. What a way to ease myself into the interviewing chair. So I'm really excited though for you because you are about to experience not just this wonderful woman, but also what quantum healing is. So especially when we think about hypnotherapy, I don't know about you, but I often get the image of a guy or woman standing on a stage and turning participants into roosters, chickens, doing things that later on they are a little bit embarrassed about. But I know from knowing Helen and from delving into this work a little bit that that is really the entertainment part of it. But hypnotherapy, and especially quantum consciousness healing, has such a important role in bringing out in us the real us, the authentic us. So, as you will see in this conversation, Helen goes really below the surface to share with us how this modality helps clients overcome challenges beyond just the unwanted habits such as quitting alcohol, smoking, weight loss. She really works with the subconscious mind to create a meaningful, lasting change. I'm going to let Helen fill in the gaps for you. So settle in with a lovely drink, relax for the next hour or so, and enjoy this conversation. And if you feel inspired or curious about reaching out to Helen or learning more about this, I will make sure to put all her details below this video. Don't forget to subscribe, please. And if at any point you feel like, oh my goodness, this is amazing, please share it with someone who would be equally as delighted to hear about this. I would be really, really grateful. Thank you and enjoy. So hello everyone and welcome. Welcome to the Soul Led channel, and I would really like to welcome my guest today, Helen Rowe, who is a quantum consciousness healer, amongst many other things. She's also a Reiki practitioner or Reiki trained, and she's also a is it hypnotherapist or NLP
Hypnotherapist.
hypnotherapist?
Yep.
Yes, yes. Well, there you go. I have a very, very limited knowledge of my guest. And so my guest, Helen, will fill in the gaps for us because I am, and this is why I have Helen here, I am very curious about what she does, how she does it, how she arrived at these particular modalities. And before you start, Helen, I just want to tell everyone, Helen and I know each other outside of the spiritual world, like in real life. And Helen is a wonderful, beautiful soul that I know will fascinate you, not just with the modalities that she does and how she facilitates her sessions and how she helps people, but as you will see, her warm, kind, and very lovely, very genuine nature will shine through. So grab a cuppa, sit back, and enjoy this conversation with Helen Rowe, who does conscious healing. Helen, please tell us, how can we fill in the gaps here and tell everyone a bit more about you?
Well, I first started on this path because I started doing hypnotherapy, trained as a hypnotherapist and loved it. I probably need to step back a little bit. I, as a teenager, used to stare up at the sky thinking, what else is out there? what is up there? We can't be the most intelligent thing in this universe. And then, of course, you get busy. I become a young mum and all that stuff gets pushed to the side. And then when I come into hypnotherapy, it just awakened all those thoughts that I used to have, past lives, lives between lives. With hypnotherapy, really also working out in that quantum field. And it just that naturally led me down the path to quantum conscious journeys, because that encapsulates all of the past lives, the lives in between lives, everything that's happening now, in the past, in the future. And it's just fascinating. I love it.
Mm. Well, so this has inspired my next question. Tell us, please, more about what quantum consciousness healing is. What is the therapy that you are absolutely loving at the moment? And I know I was pretty lucky to have a little session with you, and I was blown away by the things that came up. But please tell us, what is quantum consciousness healing?
So, in our normal day to day lives, we become so immersed in our human selves, in our human experience, that we just forget how amazing that we really are. We forget that we are a part of something so much bigger than this. So, with a quantum consciousness journey, we will expand out into that quantum field and we can be talking to our higher selves, to our loved ones that have gone before us, to our future selves. We live in a multidimensional space, so anything can come through. So it's just really someone that might come for a quantum journey, if they're stuck or if they have something going on in their life, a change in career, or they may broken up from a relationship and they carry that guilt or something. So we can clear all those energetic lines that can come about, just so you can still, we're not escaping this human experience, we're expanding on the human experience of the here and now. I'm not sure if that's making sense. I know what I love about this. It's hard to always try and get that out there so somebody that doesn't have any idea gets an understanding.
Well, no, you've described this beautifully. I'm sort of curious about, I guess, because you mentioned that we expand on this experience. So we don't ignore it. We don't, do you make it go away? Like what is, because I know there's different healing modalities, different ways to heal trauma as well, from different let's say genres and arenas. They can be approached in different ways. Some go back and fix it. Some believe it's just here now, don't worry about what happened there. Some believe in cord cutting. How would you describe sort of what conscious healing does, that it doesn't ignore but expand on that one? Do we feel it, relive it again? Is it painful for us?
We definitely don't take you back into trauma. One way of looking at it is so if I help someone with the hypnotherapy to quit cigarettes or wine or something like that, and then they might do a quantum session after that as to why they actually got stuck in that habit in the first place. So one, we're removing the physical barriers, and the other, we're removing the energetic barriers. So it is working with energy, frequencies, vibrations, which is the true language of the universe. We are all connected as one, which sounds really hard to fathom but we are all connected, and we can make that connection up in the quantum field, and we can actually all do it. We just forget that we have that ability within us, or we just get busy. Sometimes it's really hard to go quiet and go within. So yeah, it's just helping to facilitate and help someone that to really touch base already within themselves, to connect out. When we're expanding out, when we're having hypnotherapy, we go deep down within, and with the quantum journey, we are expanding up and out into that energetic field. It's kind of like having that radio station. So, if you have the radio dial, which I don't know, perhaps we don't have a lot of dials for radio stations anymore. I'm showing my age here, but you might be trying to tune into that radio station, and there could be, 100 odd radio stations out there. You've got to tune into the right frequency for you to be able to pick up that radio station. That's what we're doing when we're going up into the quantum field. We are connecting with the frequency that's going to align to you. And a part of doing that is we create a high vibrational intention, and that is your rocket fuel to get you up and out into that quantum field. And anything that comes through, it's going to be directly related to your high vibrational intention. So though you might have some trauma, you may have had trauma, different things, you may have had different addictions, or there's family patterns that you would like to clear. We want to draw on the high vibrational side of things. So, like words have frequencies. You've got love and grace and gratitude and joy. They have really high frequencies. We've got anger and fear and shame and guilt, which are very low frequencies. So when we make a high vibrational intention, we will have a discussion first, and we'll talk about what it is that you want to clear, but we want to know what it is that you want for yourself. What will be, so if you had that crystal ball, what it is that you would like life to be like, what do you want to be feeling and experiencing? And we're going to create that high vibrational intention around that. So when we're going out, we got a high frequency already that we're going to align with, and we're going to clear those energetic lines that way. Or we could tap in and get, healings. It's not all about us being healed. Maybe we need to heal some past lives or some family patterns from the past and into the future. I did that myself with our intergenerational journey, which I love. Can I share a story? Is that all right?
Yes, of course.
So I, as a young person, was excessively shy. I would walk up the road, and if I saw someone coming towards me that I knew, I would cross the road because I couldn't get the words out. I couldn't even say hello to them. It was debilitating. Um, I've obviously improved over the years before doing that, but I was still so shy. And I see it in my siblings. I'm one of six. Three of us have that shyness, that really debilitating shyness. I see it in my grandkids. So there's definitely a family pattern there. So for me on that journey, went up and we cleared those generational ancestor lines from the past. We cleared all that shyness from there and into the future. And already I can see it's like you get results in real time. Like we took my granddaughters out recently and we went to a play centre. It was nice. So, instead of coming up to us to say, come and talk to them, because normally they'd be too shy to go up to the desk and ask for the other people to come in and help. They did that. And they went to the child's father, who they didn't even know, and asked to come and see the son. Like
Mind
it's
blowing.
amazing. Yeah, it is mind blowing.
So, so wait a minute. I mean, that's a fascinating story, especially with children. So when you said you cleared that in your family history, did you have to uh, put all the kids, all the grandkids into a session with you?
No, not at all. So and I mean, there'll be other grandkids that may come that I will never know. I don't know of now, or that could be my grandkids. We can clear the energetic lines from past and into the future. And no, they don't come into the session with me. That's just me. And we don't need to have specific people in line. I don't know all my ancestors. Obviously, I know my grandparents. I don't think I ever got to even meet any of my great grandparents, but they all come through, and you can clear all those lines right down further than just even great grandparents. You can go great, great, great grandparents. And that's just grandparents. Imagine all the other offsprings that we have that are attached to our family trees as well.
I can see why you were drawn to this amazing healing modality
Mm.
because it feels like it's not just trauma, or if you've survived abuse or something traumatic in your life, but even something like shyness, which you wouldn't even think that's something you can overcome without I don't know, personal development and exercises and working on yourself. Like, who would have thought this is something that is an energy, I guess, that can be cleared or repurposed or restructured, let alone that it can go through you, be cleared, in your family lines, in your ancestral lines. I mean, someone like me is a little bit familiar with this, but and this is why I love that you're here talking to me today, because many of my viewers, listeners, might probably not even think that something like shyness can be dealt with in a session
Mm.
with you. So I guess this begs the question, what else can we heal? What are the physical things that we can
Yep,
heal? What else?
definitely. There's several different journeys that we sort of have and can direct. to really help people with whatever they need. So absolutely, there can be physical or physical healing or emotional healing. It could be the generational patterns, the family patterns, like addictions, phobias, that sort of thing. It could just be you might have a question. Like there was a lady, she had separated from her husband, who, the father of her three children, and she carried a lot of guilt with that. So she wanted to go back, she wanted to release that guilt. So she did the other path journey where she could go down and meet that self, because we make a decision in our life and, we go one way, but having made a different decision in our alternative reality, there's another path that we go. So she's gone down and she's met another version of herself. And that wasn't a happy version. So she was not only able to release her guilt because she knows if she'd stayed there, it would not have been good for the children, her husband, or herself, but she was also able to help that version of herself in that different reality, different dimension to heal her energy as well and to lift her up. So it's not about even healing ourselves, it's healing because we're all connected, we're all a part of this amazing multi-dimensional universe that we're in, and we can heal across all lines, up, down, around.
I love it. And I've got so many questions. So if let's say someone is, I don't know, let's say always meeting the wrong guys, wishing really, or the wrong woman, really hoping for, the right person to come along, but they just don't seem to have any luck. Or let's say there's a couple that's trying to get pregnant and for some reason they can't get pregnant. Would they be good candidates to come and have a session with you? Would that be beneficial?
Absolutely. They could tap into seeing why, what is that block, and removing that block. It could be something that they need to remove from a past life, a blockage from a different time that they need to clear that line
So
to be
you
able to
see it. They
fall
don't
and
need to
stay.
know that. You see
No,
that,
that will
right?
come through. That I
Yeah.
don't see that. This is what comes through from them. So I just guide, it's actually all within them. I just help expand them out and to tap into that inner wisdom and that inner knowledge that they already have inside. That's how amazing we are. We already have all this information inside. So I just help them tap into that. And
And
then they might see it, they might hear it, they might see colours, or a lot of people, not everyone's visual. I'm not always visual. I becoming more and more visual, but I always get that sense, that feeling, or it just comes like the questions will come. Some when I'm being facilitated too, the question that just comes to me. You just get that knowing, and it's
mm,
amazing what we can tap back into. So
so
yeah, for sure.
but let's say some like there are people who believe that they can't be hypnotized. Definitely not me. But let's say there's someone who says, I can't be hypnotized. And I know a lot of the time it stems from these shows that we've watched, where hypnotists, turns the audience into chickens or something. And so that I guess we have that preconceived idea of what hypnotherapy or from what you've described your modality quantum healing is similar in that way, because they're going, I guess, into an altered state, would you
Yeah.
say? But if
Yeah.
someone says, I can't be hypnotized, do you think they still can reach a state enough to allow that wisdom to come through? Is there such a
Yes.
thing as people can't be hypnotized?
Um, naturally we go in and out of a trance state ourselves every single day. So definitely some people are hypnotized a lot easier than others. I have had people doing even the quantum that they honestly feel that they can't get out of their own heads. They are so not everyone is ready, but we always do a pre-talk or pre-call to see if people are ready for that. There's also we offer a series of journeys that they can just access themselves and do in their own time to as a prequel before coming into doing a quantum session if they if you feel that they need that little bit of extra how to expand out or to get used to the language that's used. And yeah, but most people can be hypnotized and most people can be expanded out, but that's true, not everybody can allow themselves to relax to get into that. It is all very, very relaxing, and you do need to be able to allow yourself to relax.
I
Yeah.
think that is the key, and I love that you offer a little sort of I don't know, sample trial, I guess, a
Yeah.
mini session, where people can really, like, if they believe I can't be hypnotized, um, can have a go and see how it feels. Because I personally believe, and I actually can't believe we're calling this what you're doing, like we're talking in terms of hypnotizing someone, because again, hypnotizing on stage is so not what you're doing. Having had a session with you, I mean, it really just feels like a beautiful, relaxing experience where naturally the answers just come out of you. So if I can just describe it from my own perspective of how I experienced this, and also it might help maybe those of you out there who are thinking, I don't know if this will work on me. Helen is right. You have to be relaxed. Now, I have trained or shared knowledge in psychic development, and one of the things is you got to get out of your head, right? Because if you're sitting in the head, no matter how much guidance you get, and we validate it in session, you're going to hold yourself back and not say it. So when I had a session with you, Helen, I found that in this relaxed state that I was, I think I had my eyes closed. You were asking me questions and the answers were just coming to me. It's like, duh, I know these answers. And I think because I'm personally someone who is able to get out of my head, so the relaxed part is easy for me. It was a really lovely experience, and at no point did I think, is that me? Is that my mind talking? Where's this coming from? Either way, when the answers arrive, it doesn't matter where you believe they come from. You've got answers that before Helen, you didn't have these answers, right? Like before they came to you. So I remember this moment when actually many, many years ago, I was a brief smoker, and I went to a psychologist, hypnotherapist, to get hypnotized to stop smoking. And I found that we did a trial session. And so she was, guiding me through. And as she's talking to me, because I didn't feel anything like, I didn't feel like I was in a meditative state. I wasn't woozy. Again, these preconceived notions that I had about what hypnotherapy is, it wasn't. In fact, when she was telling me a few things to do, so we did little exercises, there was a moment where I didn't do, like, I can't remember, she wanted me to, I don't know, palms facing inwards, and I didn't do it. And I'm thinking in my head, see, if you were good at what you're doing, I would know how to do it, right? And then like she's continuing, and I could open my eyes right now, and you would be so embarrassed because none of this worked, but okay, I'm gonna play along, I'm gonna have my eyes closed. Now, fast forward. Spoiler alert, it worked fantastic. I had my session. I've never smoked since. It was amazing. It worked. But what still puzzles me till today, or amazes, is the state I was in, that I was sitting there going like, I could open my eyes anytime, and this, would prove to you that it doesn't work. But it did work. And would you describe this weird state that we're in?
It is such a super relaxing state. And funny enough, when you say that, I do that with hypnosis. There is a part of it where you get people and ask them to open your eyes, and they literally can't. And they'll say after the hypnosis, I was trying, but I couldn't open my eyes. I felt like they were glued shut.
See, we
You can
didn't know each
tell.
other then. I would have come to you if we quit smoking.
You can tell by looking at someone when they get into that state. Their face relaxes, their jaw relaxes, and so we do a bit of a relaxation guidance to start off with, and before we expand them out. But yeah, and also about as a facilitator, just holding the knowing that they can do it. They don't know that they can do it because it's not something they've ever done before. But holding that knowing, because it's our birthright to be able to do this. We have this knowledge in us and it's available to us. We just don't always know how to tap into it. So it's holding that knowing for them to know that they will be able to access that state. And honestly, they do. You can just expand out. And if you do see people, maybe sometimes they might start to, that you can tell that their analytical mind might be starting to kick in again, and you can just expand them out more. And it's quite easy. It's the brain trying to work out, what's being said or what's not, because things will come through that people think I've got no knowledge about that. So yeah, they will be trying to work that out, but you can just expand them out again, and you can easily switch between the two states.
And I think it's important that you, Helen, make people feel really safe in that space. I mean, I certainly felt very safe in that space. And I think when we feel safe, we can relax because we're like, well, whatever comes out, I'm safe here. Um, but I do want to ask you, have you heard anything? And of course, you don't have to share anyone's details, what they saw, what they did, and what happened for them. But have you heard anything that blew your mind because it was something either that you haven't heard before, or it was like this inner knowing about, I don't know, the world, us, or us as souls that made you go like, oh wow, this is amazing.
I feel like that with every single session that I facilitate. It always amazes me with what comes through for some people. And like one of the ladies, she saw, like she had three at once, like ascended masters coming through, like just different. It's just honestly, it just blows your mind what is you're able to access. And I feel that way every single time. But I've got to say, also in every single session, what comes through is that unconditional love, and it comes through in every single session that that we are all loved, and the way to stay connected is through love. Like love, grace, joy just comes through in every single session, which
Mm,
I just think that's really beautiful, and it just really helps. That's just healing within itself.
mm,
Just feeling, because you can feel those energies. You
mm,
can entangle with those energies yourself. So, you do come out of that session feeling so light.
mm,
One of the last ones I did, they did come out saying how amazing that was. It blew them away, and how light and effervescent that they felt, just because they were able to release and let go of what they didn't even know what they needed to let go of when they started the session. But it cuts through, and we work your way through it, and you're just able to let go of things that have been stuck inside, not just inside us as a physical, but stuck inside us at a soul level in our energetic field, and just being able to let those go, which is very freeing.
I think that is so wonderful because I guess like in my sessions when I connect to the Akashic Records, things come through me, and yes, the energy is open. So I guess my clients would feel energy or feel something, or they see afterwards certain things are different. But what I love about what you do, Helen, is that your clients feel it through their body. So I'm assuming, like for example, past lives, I see it and I describe it, and we have that resonance. But when they come to you, it's like they feel or see it through themselves, which is
That's
another
right.
level of healing, right? Because it's like you're watching the movie, you're not just someone's telling you about the movie, you're watching it.
Yeah, it's very interactive, and they're very much playing. It's them, they're bringing it all through for themselves, and they're playing a big
Mm.
part in their own healing, entangling with the energies to help create ultimately the high vibrational tension that they set to go out with. So
Mm.
yeah,
Would you
it's
say one session is enough in most I know it's case by case probably, but in most cases, is it one session? Is it a whole?
it really just depends on what you're looking for. So it would be, you might want to fix a certain element, and yes, one session will be enough, but then it opens up to, oh, I could go in there for something else. So you could actually do, because there's so many different journeys, we could combine some journeys and cover several things off at once. So definitely, you could clear several energetic ones. You might clear a physical element, the energies of that, and then we might also then clear some ancestral energy, and then we might meet a future you, in the ulticon state. So you could cover it all. It just depends, I guess, on yourself. It's very addictive. Feeling, just getting out into that quantum field. It's just it's just amazing. It's fascinating. It's amazing. I love it because science has also gone down that path now. There's so much science backed with the metaphysics, with David Hawkins, just so many of them that it's all backed with science. So it is real, and it's like doing that whole radio station. You're actually just tuning into your frequency in the quantum field.
So tuning into your frequency, but also a question now, because I know when I do Akashic Records, I can't, and someone comes in and they want to know something about their neighbor or whatever. I can't go into their neighbor's Akashic Records without their permission. So let's say I came to you and I would say, well, Helen, I'm okay. I'm pretty good. We don't need to do any healing, but I would love to know, where are we heading? Are we doomed? Can you give me like a what's to come for the greater collective, for the world? Can you predict through me? Can you get me to, or my higher self to kind of give a prediction for us all? Or let's say someone comes and says, I just want to know why my damn husband left me and what he's doing now with this new floozy. Can you get my higher self to talk and tell you? Is that possible?
No, I don't think it kind of really works that way. I cannot, you can certainly, because you've got to work out what your vibrational tension is. So if you want to know what's going on with the world, we have to work out what it is that you want resonance with to see in a high vibrational world. And then absolutely, we'll see what comes through. And you might be able to, as you know, when you go up into the quantum field or you're using certain words that carry vibrations, you're actually already putting that out there for all of humanity. So every time you actually go up into the quantum field, you are already helping humanity as a collective. Yes, as far as to knowing what the husband's up to and what is he doing with his latest floozy, that would be, we could clear the energies as to why she might need to know that, as to make her feel better. So, you know, the husband, we can just leave him behind. He can do whatever he wants with any floozy, and she can go on with her life, living the best life that she can for herself.
Right. So it's very much
Yeah.
about you are in the center of the vortex. The session is about you who came to
Yep.
see Helen, and anything that is bigger picture or like I said, the greater good for all the world. We have to find a connection, right? Like there has to be a connection. We can't just go number one, snooping in husband's energy. Number two, asking predictions or something that your higher self just should candidly reveal, right?
Yeah.
I love that. I love that so much. So Helen, what are with your abilities now, with this modality, with your work, what are your desires? Where are you what are you going to do with this work? What would you like to see happen? How do you want to help us all who need help or want to expand or want to, any of that?
I absolutely always love helping other people with any work that I've done over the years. It's always been in service of helping someone else. That always brings me great joy. I just get that sense. I just always love to be out there and helping other people. So I would love to see this just keep going out further and further. So people can come. It's not invasive. They can come in and have a session and help clear, like I, even with my grandchildren, to know that they're not going to be having to put up with some of the debilitating stuff that I went through and my siblings have gone through. You know, I know that lives already are going to be improving. So even with someone that will come in with hypnotherapy, I definitely would like to be blending it with hypnotherapy. You know, you come in for to do a weight loss program. You know, a part of that will be doing conscious journey. See where perhaps it started to clearing those energetic lines and to help you in the future. We do a journey where it's an ulticon journey, so you can meet your ultimate self in future time. So, you know, if you might have that burning question for something, and then you can tap into the energy and do get that advice from your higher self as to where you might be heading with something. So just helping people like empaths, you know, they feel so much of everybody else's energy, you know, so to be able to help them to be able to walk into a supermarket without having to sit into the car for 10 minutes to get up the courage to go into the supermarket because it's very draining for them. You know, that's a very simple thing that some people just don't even think about. They just take it for granted. You know, so to be able to help people live a more peaceful, balanced life and to really just tap in this, all this is all really about remembering your own magnificence. And you feel that when you're up that quantum field. And it's just once you remember that, once you get that feeling, you can't unknow it. That's there. It always remains, and your life is forever changed in that way.
So fantastic. I love that. So I can see how that would inspire you to keep going, keep sharing, I guess,
Yeah.
these your work with as many people as possible. Um, One last thing I want to ask is there anything that you wished I asked you that I didn't ask? Because we don't know what we don't know.
That's true. It's a good question, but I don't know. I think we covered a lot. Um, I
No,
love
we
this.
feel
This was a great.
complete.
Yeah, I do feel complete. This was a great talk. Maybe to say, because some people might think, well, I don't know, like who would be the people that would come to me? And those sort of people might be people that are saying, I feel stuck. I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what I want anymore. So I guess it's letting people know that there's all sorts of reasons that you would come and for a quanta session. It's limitless. It's potentially whatever
Addictive.
is going on. Yeah. So
I, yeah, sorry, you go.
it's just limitless. I just help you connect with your own amazing multidimensional self and just to help you clear out those lines to help you live a better life, more
I love
balanced
that.
life.
I love that. And I think this is definitely for those of you who are curious about it. Maybe you've heard conscious healing, the words being thrown around. Maybe you've been curious about going to the quantum field healing, clearing. If you're curious, I would recommend getting in touch with Helen, and just having that little even session to be guided into what you need, because sometimes we don't know what we need. We don't know what we don't know. And sometimes you might think, well, I really want to know why money is not coming to you, but then perhaps in this session with Helen, you will discover that actually, also, would you like to know why you have hay fever, or, a debilitating habit of attracting the wrong people into your life? So I would say definitely reach out, get in touch with Helen. I know that Helen is going to help you figure out like what the next step is, whether you need hypnotherapy, whether you do that and then do into conscious healing or just conscious healing, whatever the needs are. I just feel like, and can people do Zoom with you? That's probably a big one.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Most of it I do online over Zoom. You still very much entangle our energies because obviously I would be entangling my energy with whoever would be coming to see me for anything. So we can still entangle our energies, whether it's in person or online. So it's all the same, really.
We're very fortunate to have chosen this particular time in
That's
our
right.
human lives with all these
Yes.
advancements and technologies. And I feel like I have a million other topics jumping off our conversation today. I will probably bring Helen back in to discuss at least one of those topics a little bit more. But for the time being, I wanted to introduce Helen to you and conscious healing, quantum conscious healing, in case you were wondering what that entails and how it can help you live a more expanded, happier life. And thank you, Helen. Thank you for taking the time out
No worries.
your
Thank
way. It
you.
was lovely. And
I do
every
have a lovely offer for your audience, if that's
yeah,
all right to share
yep.
that.
And
So,
we'll put it below as well, the video.
yeah. So
Yeah, sure.
normally one of these sessions would be $120 and it's a few hours, but for anyone listening, if they would like a journey, I'm going to reduce that down to $90, which is a great saving. Or if you want to come with a friend and the two of you book, that would be down to $80 a session. So
Oh my God.
amazing.
I love that. Oh, good, good, good. We love a little bargain, but especially when you've never
Absolutely.
had it and you don't know, that is very kind and gracious of you to share that with my audience. So we'll put the details below, and I will make sure that there's a way for everyone to connect and ask. If you have any questions about Helen's work, um, quantum healing, please feel free to put them below, and I will make sure to forward them to Helen so that you get your answers. And don't forget to subscribe so we don't miss each other. Thank you, Helen. This was lovely, and I will connect with you soon, and I'll see everyone else next time. Bye for now.
Thank you, Kasia.